this video we're going to be talking about what we may see from Games Workshop at Adepticon. When is Adepticon? What is Adepticon? But most importantly, what we might see from Games Workshop. So grab a brew, get comfortable, let's get waffling. Yes, so Adepticon is due to arrive in about 40 days, I believe. We're going to jump over to the website shortly and have a little look at that and chat about what is going to be coming from Games Workshop in the form of reveals, because, you know, we might as well do that now before they actually start making some announcement posts. But if you are new to the channel, please hit that subscribe button. It would be helping me out massively. Ring the bell and drop a comment and everything else. All that good stuff. But let's get into it. So Adepticon is on the 26th of March and to the 30th of March in Wisconsin, wherever that is. No idea. I believe it's somewhere in the sort of northeastern part of Wisconsin. Oh, sorry, Milwaukee. I'm pretty sure that's where Jeffrey Dahmer was from. I think that's about the only bit of history I know from that area. But yeah, I think it's in the northeast. I'm sure my American viewers can sort of help me with that in the comments below. But yes, it's coming. So about a week after my birthday, which is going to be super cool. So we're definitely going to be getting some pretty big reveals at the show, and they've already got some nice little teasers. So we've got the event miniature at the event, which is going to be this sort of not Imperial Guard made by Vickers Miniatures. She's very clearly an Imperial Guard miniature with a bionic arm, which is kind of cool. Comes in 3 parts and a base. That's kind of cool. And we're also going to be getting the GW release miniatures, which we've seen before in the article. This one this one from the Skaven is absolutely gorgeous. Yeah, I would love to be able to get my hands on that model, because that is really, really nice, especially with just starting a Skaven army. But sadly, I'm not going to be getting to any events from Warhammer in the foreseeable future, at least unless I can get to one over in the UK, which they don't seem to want to do them in the UK anymore, which is a bit of a shame. So hopefully they'll fix that in this year, and we will get over. But hopefully that'll be still available at Warhammer World. So if I do manage to get myself to Warhammer World this year, I'll still be able to get it then, because that is a beautiful miniature. And then obviously for all of you Gene Stealer Cult fans, there is a new dude for the Gene Stealer Cult as well, which is kind of interesting. So yeah, that's from the GW side for the event miniatures. There is this one from Atomic Mass Games when it comes to their Shatterpoint game. We have this like 2-person diorama for Shatterpoint, Darth Vader versus Ahsoka on this sort of really cool looking base. That's kind of awesome. But yeah, but we're not here to talk about Shatterpoint. We're here to talk about reveals, what we're going to see. So let's kick off straight away with Warhammer 40k, because I do think Warhammer 40k is going to be one of the main games that they're going to be showing. So, and that is, we're going to be seeing the World Eaters. So what are we actually going to be seeing when it comes to the actual World Eaters themselves? So I do think that the World Eaters will be quite a decent wave. I think it's going to be mainly built around the Juggernaut unit, the mounted Juggernauts. There are artwork of these guys in the current codex, or at least the 9th edition codex, are fighting alongside the Lord of Invocatus. So it's obvious that they're going to get a mounted unit of Berserkers riding Juggernauts. Makes kind of sense. They have 2 characters that are mounted on Juggernauts, but they kind of really, really derpily join infantry units, which kind of doesn't make sense. So kind of giving them a unit for the Lord and the Lord Invocatus to join does make sense. I think we're going to get a Butcher Surgeon, which will be a sort of new hero HQ type for them. Because they kind of talk about him in the current books, and a few other things as well. So I do think that's probably what we're going to see. And I'm possibly Terminators. I'm holding out for Terminators. I think there's Terminators. We had that Warhammer exclusive miniature for who was a Terminator, and it kind of makes sense that the Chaos Space Marines start getting other Terminators. I mean, Death Guard have their own Terminators, Thousand Sons have their own Terminators, World Eaters should get their own Terminators, and I think the Emperor's Children at some point in the future will also get their own Terminators as well. But what else? I think we'll get them is probably going to be the big thing for Warhammer 40k. And then I think we'll also get something along the lines of a little bit of a glimpse at what the Death Guard are going to get, and possibly what the Thousand Sons are going to get as well. Because they're the three big codexes that are coming this summer. But that is, I think, 40k. So on to Age of Sigmar, and I do think this is going to be a look at the Idoneth Deepkin, what they're probably going to get, as well as the Nighthaunt, because they're the next two factions for those two for Age of Sigmar. So as for the Idoneth Deepkin, let's see, what do we... Well, I'm hoping... I'm going to keep saying it. I want crab heavy infantry, and I want elves riding giant crabs, because that would be cool. We're probably not going to get that, but that would be kind of cool. I think they'll probably get an elite infantry unit, because they don't have an elite infantry unit. There is the Thralls, but we don't really have an infantry unit on the ground. That is any good. All their elite elements seem to be mounted, and I think they'll probably get an elite elf infantry type unit, like the Aquarium Guard or something along those lines, and probably a new sort of hero, maybe a sort of king or a prince on foot rather than being mounted. Kind of sort of fits with, you know, what's kind of missing from the faction. And maybe some sort of like classic sort of elven sort of things that you would probably see in an elf army, like maybe war machines and stuff like that. Because you got to remember that the Soulblight Gravelords are essentially dark elves from 40k. They kind of follow the similar the law, but they're underwater sea elves. And they don't really have that much in the sort of terms of infantry or anything like that. So that's kind of what I'm thinking they're going to get. But they are entirely exclusive to Age of Sigmar, so there's no crossover to the Warhammer, the old world. So they can pretty much be bold and do whatever they want when it comes to the Idoneth Deepkin, because obviously they are exclusive for that system. Now the Nighthaunt, on the other hand, aren't. And the Nighthaunt have got a couple of changes. Now, currently, the Hexwraiths share a kit with the Black Knights. The Black Knights have obviously been changed to the Burrow Guard, or the Mounted Burrow Knights, or whatever they're called, which we've seen in the last preview, which will be coming out in the next release for the Soulblight Gravelord. So, I can see a Hexwraith kit, an entirely separate Hexwraith kit, for them. Now, as far as I'm aware, I don't think there's anything else in that range that is kind of coincides with anything else. I do think we'll see some new Banshees, though. Some new AOS only Banshees, because they're currently Warhammer the Old World, and I think we'll probably get a Banshee type character hero, a little bit more of a ghostly theme. They already have quite a lot when it comes to what they get, so I don't think there's going to be a huge amount for the Nighthaunt, because they were the bad guys, I believe. Is it in 2nd edition? They were the bad guys. Yes, they were. They were the bad guys in 2nd edition. Were they the bad guys in 2nd? What was the bad guys in 3rd edition? Don't know. Can't remember. But either way, they were the bad guys in one of the launch boxes with against the sword. Yeah, it was 2nd edition, because it was the launch box that we got the wizardy ghost hunting Stormcast Eternals, which have now been discontinued. So yeah, they were the big bad in 2nd edition, so they got a lot of new miniatures then. So I think this is probably going to be the smaller of the two releases between them and the Deepkin. I think the Nighthaunt will probably just get a new hero and that new mounted unit, the new kit for the Hexwraiths. But I think that's pretty much it. And we may get a glimpse at one of the newer factions that are coming from the horizon, and that's probably going to be the Khorne Blades of Khorne. Okay, so Warhammer, the Old World. What are we going to see for the Old World? Are we going to see anything really cool? Yes, I think we're going to see the Beastmen in all of their glory. The High Elves are probably going to be, from now until the end of March, getting releases. Remember, Games Workshop already said there's about at least 3 waves coming for them. So, you know, it makes sense that maybe that's going to push out right until the end of March. So yeah, the Beastmen. I've already had a video on what I think the Beastmen are going to get. You know, new updated Centaurs, a hero for the Centaurs, a couple of old heroes, some more monsters. Some of the monsters coming out in plastic rather than the sort of fine cast, which was they've got. But I do think we're going to get quite a nice release for them. But we'll see them as well. They'll be the big part of the preview for GW over Adepticon, because they are a really big thing. And we might even get a glimpse of the Wood Elves as well. But I think it's mainly going to focus on the Beast of Chaos. So the battalion, the almanac, and all of that good stuff is pretty much what I'm thinking. So I'm not really going to go into too much regarding Necromunda and Blood Bowl and Kill Team and all of that kind of stuff, because they're the games that I don't really play that much. We'll probably get an announcement of a new edition. You know, there's rumours that there's a Space Hulk edition coming out, a new version of Space Hulk. And Adepticon is the kind of place that you'll probably see those types of reveals and sort of products shown off. We've just had a new edition of Kill Team and a whole host of new stuff for it. The one thing that we kind of haven't really had anything is kind of Warcry related, so maybe they'll do something with Warcry. And a couple of new Underworld warbands for the new edition that Underworld has just had, and maybe some new Blood Bowl teams. But I'm not overly too sure what Blood Bowl teams they could possibly do, because I think they've pretty much covered nearly all of the teams by now, apart from the Bretonians. They haven't got us a Bretonian team, so, you know, give us a Bretonian team so I can get my Bretonians in Blood Bowl would be amazing. Thank you, Games Workshop. That would be really cool. And their star players and everything else. So, do you know what? For Blood Bowl, we might get a Blood Bowl Bretonian team. There you go. That's my prediction for Blood Bowl. Probably completely wrong and wishful thinking, but hey, whatever. But yeah, that's for the specialist games. And Black Library will probably get a bit of a preview of some new books for Black Library. Okay, so we're going to talk about the Horus Heresy. And this is the one I think a lot of people, especially Heresy fans, are waiting for because of the rumours. Now, I am in the camp that I don't believe that there's a new edition coming. I personally don't think that the specialist design team can move to 3-year cycles for their games, especially for the Heresy and the Old World. I know there's other content creators, likes of Valrak. I think Valrak has talked about it. I know Metas Miniatures and Pardo have talked about the Horus Heresy, and Rob and the other guy, whatever he's called, has talked about over on the Square Base regarding a second edition of the Old World coming. I don't think they can. I don't think they have the resources to be able to do it. Bearing in mind that the supposed big FAQ that was meant to be coming for the Old World is apparently being pushed back all the way into May, and it taken them about over a year, to give us any form of FAQ when it comes to the actual Horus Heresy. So I find it very hard to believe that there is a new edition coming to the Horus Heresy this year. I do think we're getting something, and I think it's going to be relatively big, but I don't think it's a new edition. I think it's going to be a new phase, a new theme for the Horus Heresy. And the reason why I think that is because I think they're building up to the Siege of Terror. I think that's probably what the game is going to be moving into, and I think that is how it's going to be done. I don't think if we get a new edition, if anything, it'll be like a 2.5. It'll be like a new rulebook, kind of cleaned up and tidied up with the FAQs, and that's about it. I do think there's going to be a new box set. I do think we'll probably see the Mark II Tactical Marines. I do think we'll see the Breacher upgrade kit. I do think we'll see the Cataphracti rescale and the new kit for them, and possibly the one for the Tartarus Terminators. I think we'll start to see another Primarch, probably Angron, and maybe Rogel Dawn. And I think they're going to start building up for that Siege of Terror campaign book that we're probably going to get in the very near future. And one of the biggest things that we'll get in that rule book or that campaign book will be the Emperor and all of the rules to use him in your loyalist armies. Just like we have for Horus the Ascended, we need something to be able to combat that, and that is the only thing that we can, is the Emperor of Mankind. I think that's what's happening. I don't think it's a new edition. I think this is them building up for the Siege of Terror and moving into that new period, that new part of the Horus Heresy, and possibly the Custodies are probably going to get a lot of love with that, because obviously, you know, their tanks and everything that are currently plastic resin will probably move to plastic. So I think there's a lot of cool stuff coming, and there's a reason why it's probably been a bit quiet. So yeah, I'm not a big fan of the whole rumor of a new edition. I don't think it's happening. I think we're going to get something big, but it's not going to be an addition. It's going to be moving into a new phase of the game, and that's going to be the Siege of Terror. And I think that's the direction the Heresy is going. But yeah, that's my general predictions for Adepticon. I think it's going to be huge. I think this year is a really big year for Warhammer in general. You know, there's probably going to be a lot of grifters out there. I'll sort of come out with statements like, we'll probably hear something about Cavill and the Amazon show. I don't think we'll get any of that yet. And if we do hear anything, it'll be at a preview show at the end of the year rather than now. They've only just announced that it's been greenlit and going ahead. So I don't think Adepticon is going to be the place where we get that. Initially, I thought Adepticon would be where they announced that this was going to be going ahead, but they've already done that. So, you know, I think it's probably going to be at least another, 10, 12 months before we hear anything else from that one as yet. You know, as much as everyone keeps wanting to talk about Tom Cruise, that's just not happening. But yeah, that's it. But yeah, that's my predictions. I think it's going to be pretty cool. I'm interested to see the World Eaters. I think we'll definitely be seeing them. The Beastmen are going to be really interesting to see and seeing what direction they're taking with them. And just generally just seeing what the Iden and Deepkin are going to get. For the Age of Sigmar would be kind of really cool. But yeah, I think it's just going to be a really good time. Adepticon is definitely something that I would love to be able to go to, but it's in America and it's just far too big and far too expensive to get to from Northern Ireland. So, I'll stick to going to Warhammer World. But I would love to get my hands on that Skaven miniature at least. But that's the video. If you do like what I'm doing, please like, subscribe, share, and all that good stuff. Let me know in the comments what you think is going to be happening at Adepticon. What do you think we're going to see? What rumours have you heard? And then we can have a chat about it down in the comment section. And yeah, I'll catch you all in the next video. Bye bye.